Every backyard trampoline looks the same in the box. Then 18 months later, half of them are sagging in the middle, the springs are rusted solid, and the frame is creaking every time your kid jumps. So today we're ranking 7 trampoline brands purely on how well they hold up over years of real use, not just how they look on day one. Number 10 is barely hanging on. Number 1 might genuinely never need replacing. Let's get into it. Starting at number 7, Little Tikes 7-foot trampoline. Little Tikes has built a name on toddler-safe design, and this one is exactly that, a small trampoline built for a single young child. The frame combines blow-molded plastic with steel tubing, which keeps the unit lightweight and easy for a parent to move or store between seasons. For its actual purpose, a first trampoline for a 3 to 6-year-old learning to bounce for the first time, it does the job it was designed to do, and it does it safely at that scale. Here's the honest limitation, though. The listed weight capacity is 105 pounds, and it's built for one child at a time. No exceptions on that. That's not really a durability flaw in the traditional sense. It's more of a scale issue baked into the design from the start. Blending plastic into structural frame components keeps the price and weight down, but it also means this trampoline was never engineered for the kind of long-term, heavy, repeated impact use that a full-size backyard trampoline needs to survive for a decade. If you're shopping for something that holds up to years of multiple kids jumping on it at once, in every season, this isn't that product. And honestly, it was never trying to be that product in the first place. The verdict here is simple. This is a genuinely good short-term toy for a toddler's early years, not a long-term durability investment for a growing family. It'll likely get outgrown before it gets worn out, which, when you think about it, might actually be the point of a trampoline sized this way. Number 6. The VEVOR 10-foot trampoline. VEVOR built this with a ring leg design and thickened steel tubing specifically to resist bending under repeated use. And on paper, that's a smart engineering call for a trampoline in this price bracket. It's rated for 330 pounds, uses 64 heavy-duty springs, and the jumping mat comes in at 260 grams per square meter, which is a reasonably dense material for what you're paying. For a budget-tier trampoline, the frame construction shows more thought than you'd typically expect at this price point, and the ladder height was specifically engineered to add a bit of extra bounce clearance. Now here's where it falls short of the brands ranked above it on this list. VEVOR doesn't publish a specific frame warranty length or a long-term rust resistance rating the way several competitors further up do. And the exact steel gauge, meaning the wall thickness of the tubing, isn't clearly disclosed either. That's not necessarily a red flag on its own, it's more of a transparency gap, and when you're evaluating durability specifically, the absence of that kind of data matters more than it would for a casual buyer. You're essentially trusting general heavy-duty language rather than a hard number you could hold the company to years down the line. If your trampoline is only going to see occasional weekend use in a mild climate, this is a perfectly reasonable buy for the money. If it's going to take a daily beating from 3 kids for the next decade in a harsh climate, keep reading. Number 5. The Giantex 8 to 16-foot trampoline line. Giantex uses a hot-dip galvanized process on both the inside and outside of the steel tubing, which is a legitimate step up from single-side coating because it protects the metal from rust starting inside the tube where you can't see it, not just on the visible outer surface. On the smaller 8 and 10-foot models specifically, the tube wall thickness is listed at 1.41 millimeters. The entire line is tested against ASTM F381, ASTM F2225, and EN71 safety standards, and the jumping mat is rated for 5,000 hours of UV exposure before you'd expect noticeable degradation or brittleness to set in. Those are real, checkable numbers you can compare against other listings, which honestly puts Giantex ahead of a lot of brands that just slap heavy duty on the box without backing it up with anything concrete. The catch is that 1.41 millimeters is a mid-range tube thickness, not a heavy gauge one. So while the double-sided galvanizing process is genuinely well executed, the metal underneath that coating is doing less structural work than what you'll see from the brands sitting higher on this list. Think of Giantex as nailing the finishing touches on a frame that's built to a moderate spec rather than a premium one. It's a smart pick if you want documented certifications at a reasonable price point. Just temper your expectations on long-term frame rigidity compared to the top half of today's ranking. Number 4. The BCAN Recreational Trampoline, available anywhere from 8 feet up to 16 feet. BCAN uses a twice galvanized frame process, meaning the steel gets coated in two separate passes rather than the usual single pass, and then finishes the legs with a black powder coat layered on top of that for extra weather protection against sun and moisture. Depending on the size you choose, weight capacity ranges from 265 pounds on the smaller units all the way up to 450 pounds on the largest 16-foot model. That double coating approach is a genuine durability advantage over single galvanized frames, since it closes more of the microscopic gaps in the metal where rust typically starts to form over years of outdoor exposure. Where BCAN pulls back a little is on documentation. Unlike some competitors on this list, the publicly available specs don't break out an exact steel gauge or tube wall thickness across the different sizes. So you're taking the twice galvanized durability claim mostly on the company's word, rather than a hard number you can line up directly against another brand's frame spec. It's not a deal breaker by any means, it just means you're trusting the process description over precise engineering data. For a mid-range backyard trampoline that's going to see a normal amount of weather exposure and regular family use across the seasons, BCAN's build quality is genuinely solid and dependable. It's a competent, middle-of-the-pack choice, reliable but not the most transparent brand about its own hard numbers. Number 3, the Zupapa 1,500-pound no-gap design trampoline, sold in sizes from 8 feet up through 16 feet. This is where the spec sheet starts getting genuinely impressive compared to everything we've covered so far. Zupapa uses a 1.5mm steel frame with hot dip galvanizing, which the company states offers 5 times the rust resistance of standard galvanizing methods used across the rest of the industry. The static load capacity is rated at 1,500 pounds, with a dynamic load, meaning the actual force generated by active jumping, rated at 425 pounds. That's backed by a 10-year warranty on the frame itself, with a separate 2-year warranty covering the jumping mat, safety pad, enclosure net, and springs. A 10-year frame warranty is a meaningful commitment for any manufacturer to make, because frames are expensive to replace, and companies simply don't offer that kind of coverage unless they're confident in the underlying metal holding up. The one thing to flag clearly here is that Zupapa sells this exact design across 6 different size variants, and the specific numbers I just gave you, the 1.5mm steel and the 1,500-pound rating, apply to the 12, 14, 15, and 16-foot versions of the line. The smaller 8 and 10-foot models within that same product family carry a slightly different dynamic load rating, so if you're buying the compact size specifically, double-check the current listing for that exact variant before assuming identical numbers apply. Overall, this is a genuinely durable, well-warranted trampoline once you're looking at the correct size for your yard. Before we get to the top 5, quick heads up, the number 1 pick on this entire list doesn't even use traditional steel springs, and it might be the single biggest durability upgrade you'll see in this whole countdown. We'll get there. For now, let's keep climbing through the middle of the pack. Number 2 Skywalker trampolines, specifically the Epic Series 16-foot model. Skywalker has been in business since 2005 and has built a large customer base over that time, which the company points to as evidence of consistent, repeatable product reliability across 2 decades of production. Take that as a brand reputation signal rather than a hard engineering spec, but it's still worth something since staying in this particular industry for 20 years without a reputation collapse isn't easy to pull off. On the actual hardware side, the Epic series uses a galvanized steel frame finished with a black powder coat for additional rust resistance layered on top, and it carries a 1,600-pound weight capacity, which is genuinely on the higher end for a recreational trampoline at this size. The combination of galvanizing underneath and powder coating on top is a legitimate 2-layer defense against corrosion, similar in concept to what you saw a few spots back with BCAN, just applied here at a larger 16-foot scale. Where Skywalker earns a mid-pack spot rather than something higher is that the company doesn't publish a specific frame warranty length in years the way Zupapa, or the top 3 brands on this list do, so while the physical build quality clearly looks strong on paper, you don't get the same long-term backing commitment in writing. If brand track record and a high weight rating matter more to you personally than a documented multi-year warranty on file, Skywalker is a smart, well-established, low-risk choice for most backyards. Number 1, the SkyBound trampoline, in the 10, 12, and 14-foot sizes, with the patented fiberglass curved pole design. SkyBound engineered this frame with 6 U-shaped legs and 6 balanced connection points, specifically because most trampolines in this price range only use somewhere between 3 and 5 legs total. That extra leg and connection point translates directly into a stated frame weight load capacity of 1,056 pounds, which is meaningfully higher than a lot of competitors offering similar sizes in the same price bracket. It's also ASTM F318-16 and F2225-15 certified, uses 72 heavy-duty galvanized springs for a responsive bounce, and the jumping mat is rated to withstand 5,000 hours of direct UV exposure before you'd expect fading or brittleness to start showing up. Here's the nuance worth understanding before you buy. SkyBound sells several different trampoline lines under its brand name, including a separate Stratos series, and warranty terms can genuinely vary between those product lines, even when the trampolines look visually similar sitting side by side in photos. For this specific curved pole model, the manufacturer backs it with structural specs and safety certifications rather than leading with a warranty number up front. So if a specific frame warranty length is a deciding factor for you, check the current listing for that exact model before you buy, since it can differ from other SkyBound products advertised right alongside it. Structurally, though, that 6-leg design is a genuine, measurable engineering advantage for long-term stability. So here's how I'd break this down by what you actually need. If you're buying a first trampoline for one toddler and don't need it to last past preschool, the little Tikes at number 10 covers that specific use case just fine, and there's nothing wrong with buying for the stage your kid is actually in. If you want a serious long-term investment with the best warranty coverage in the entire industry, look at the Alley Ope or the Spring Free sitting at the top of this list. If you want a strong middle ground of real certifications, real weight ratings, and a fair price that doesn't stretch your budget, Zupapa, SkyBound, and Jump King all deliver solidly on that. Whatever you land on, check the current listing for your exact size and variant before you buy, since specs and warranty terms genuinely can shift between different sizes within the same product line. Links to every trampoline on this list, in this exact order, are in the description below. If this saved you from buying the wrong one, drop a like and subscribe for more gear breakdowns like this.